Speed Station welcomes you back to Daytona International Speedway for the inaugural running of the Xfinity Eliminator at Daytona. So let's break down the format a little bit. We got only 10 laps. The field is composed of 20 cars, those 20 being the 20 that failed to make the Daytona 500 by getting in through their heat race. Those being the bottom 10 of any heat race that weren't already locked into the 500 through Busch pole qualifying. So, of these 20, only the winner of this 10-lap shootout will advance to the Daytona 500. Think of it like a last chance qualifier at any short track around the nation, or the last chance qualifier at the Eldora Truck Series race to set the field. And here's your starting lineup. Garrett Smithley starts first because he was the best driver to miss the Daytona 500 in his heat race. Joey Logano in second because he did the same in his respective heat. Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Kurt Busch, J.J. Yaley, John Hunter Nemechek, Brendan Poole, Reed Sorensen, and Joe Nemechek round out the top 10.
And fourth.
And green flag for the inaugural Xfinity Eliminator. Joey Logano fighting on the outside line to get that lead. Looks like he'll inch ahead of the 27 entering turn 1. Kurt Busch going 3 wide on the inside for third spot. Remember, only the winner is the one who advances to the 500. Logano and Smithley still side by side down the back straightaway with Kurt Busch trying to make a move 3 wide to the low side. Logano's still the leader, but it looks like Busch will be able to take the lead on the exit of turn 4. Reed Sorensen's moved his way up into second. Brendan Gaughan in his final Daytona 500 attempt, going for the lead, 3 wide on the inside. Kurt Busch will lead the first lap of 10. Brendan Gaughan will take the lead off of Kurt Busch entering turn 1. He's got help coming from Brad Keselowski. And remember, this is one of only few races this season that cannot end under caution, unlike yesterday's heat race. Here comes Keselowski, last year's Daytona 500 winner. Making the move to the inside. He doesn't have any help down on the bottom, but he will take the lead. Brendan Gaughan's going to be fighting back on the outside. He's got help coming from the 1. Brendan Gaughan will clear the 2 car on the front straightaway. Kurt Busch will file into second. Matt DiBenedetto goes up into third spot. Kurt Busch makes a look to the inside of the 62. Busch doesn't have any help down on the inside. He forces the 62 car up the racetrack. Joey Logano trying to get down to the inside line to help the 1. The 51 car takes that line off of him of J.J. Yaley. It's going to be down to the start-finish line to lead the lap. It was Kurt Busch at the stripe that time. Here comes a move by J.J. Yaley. Yaley and Busch side by side down the back straightaway. Bubba Wallace trying to set up a move down the inside. Kurt Busch will clear the 51 with a push coming from the 22 of Joey Logano. And Logano immediately goes under the 1. Logano's got the spot for now. At the start-finish line, it was still Logano to lead, but it looks like Kurt Busch might inch ahead before we enter turn 1. Busch still the leader. J.J. Yaley falling back in the middle, with Reed Sorensen picking up second spot off Kurt Busch. John Hunter Nemechek going for the spot. 4 wide, Norm Benning on the inside. Benning trying to take second with a 4 wide maneuver. And Benning goes around. Benning gets turned around as well as J.J. Yaley. Will this lead to a caution? Austin Dillon goes around. Saved it. Still no caution. It's going to be between Kurt Busch and Brendan Gaughan. The top 4 is Kurt Busch leading Brendan Gaughan, Joey Logano, and Matt DiBenedetto in 4th. Here comes Brendan Gaughan's move to the inside, but Logano trying to take it 3 wide. The pack's got to get reformed, and they just have with DiBenedetto catching on to the draft of the 22. Logano takes the lead going into turn 1. 4 Fords hooked up on the inside line, but only one will make the 500. But Buescher goes to the inside line, trying to take second off the 21. Chris Buescher's got the position for now. Joey Logano moves up to the outside line to block that lane with Bubba Wallace trying to take second. Here comes Brandon Jones with a move on the inside. Jones up to second spot, Joe Nemechek into third. Only 3 laps to go. Brandon Jones makes a move low on the 22. He's got a little bit of help coming from the 38 and the 19. There are 3 Toyotas lined up on the inside trying to get past the 22. Can Logano hold off these 2 JGR cars for 5 more miles? Here comes the 19 car trying to set up a move past the 81. Has to file back in line. Kurt Busch takes advantage of him losing momentum. Kurt Busch shoots to the inside of Brandon Jones. And white flag for Joey Logano. The 2015 winner of the Daytona 500 and 2018 champion trying to qualify into the 500. Kurt Busch, Brendan Poole, and Chris Buescher on the inside line trying to build momentum. Looks like he's going to have to wait until turn 4. He's right on the back bumper of Logano. Here's the final corner. Busch makes the move to the inside. He's got help coming from Buescher. Logano holds him off, and Logano will transfer to the 500. Joey Logano makes the Daytona 500 field by winning the inaugural Xfinity Eliminator race. And here's the unfortunate incident that knocked Norm Benning out of the 500. John Hunter Nemechek, Reed Sorensen, and Benning squeezed together. That forces the 57 car around. The 51 of Yaley makes contact. Austin Dillon goes through the grass and then makes a hard left turn to avoid the cone, hits the inside wall, and that led to Dillon not making the 500. And here's your final results. Joey Logano is the only driver out of this field to transfer to the Daytona 500. And then all the cars to fail to qualify: Kurt Busch, Brendan Poole, Chris Buescher, Joe Nemechek, Brad Keselowski, Brandon Jones, Brendan Gaughan in his final attempt, Eric Jones, last year's winner of his duel, the famous 43 car for a second year in a row of Bubba Wallace. Martin Truex Jr. fails to make the race for a second year in a row. Matt Benedetto, John Hunter Nemechek, Reed Sorensen, Chad Fincham, Garrett Smithley, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon in the famous number 3, Norm Benning in the 57, and J.J. Yaley all missed the field. And the next race is the 62nd annual running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Catch it right here on the Speed Station.